All right, what's up? We got a skit so short here. We're talking Jake Paul just announced he's getting into the MMA game. Right after Nate Diaz announced he's starting his own promotion. Could this be a matchup of Nate Diaz, Jake Paul, and MMA? Would we get that? Because I remember Jake Paul was teasing it, saying, telling Dana, whatever, I'll pay no money, all this, just let me get a fight in MMA against Nate Diaz. Well, do you really think Jake Paul would actually fight Nate Diaz in the MMA? I think it makes more sense for Nate Diaz to fight boxing, like the winner of Anderson Silva, Jake Paul. I think that definitely makes a little bit more sense as far as just because Jake Paul is not really, I mean, he has wrestling background. He wrestled in high school and stuff like that. I'm sure he trains a lot of MMA guys, all this stuff. He has some homies that are MMA guys, so training partners and all that. So, I mean, I'm sure he can get it done, but I mean, you're way behind somebody like a Nate Diaz who's been doing it for, like a couple of decades, you know what I mean? So, and at the highest level. So I'm not sure about that. I'm thinking I think it would make more sense for Jake Paul, Nate Diaz to fight in boxing. So actually, this short is actually turning into a little bit longer short because we got Nate Diaz he getting called out by Adrian Broner, the boxer. I think he's a couple time champion as well. Like pretty good boxer. I mean, he has a mouthpiece on him. He likes to talk a lot. So I mean, that would make for a fun campaign, fun build up for that fight. Adrian Broner, Nate Diaz. I mean, that'd be interesting too because like Adrian Broner's not a volume puncher, so which Nate Diaz kind of is once he gets on his roll and could put that pressure style on. So it would be a little interesting. Broner's more of a laid back counter puncher, kind of like a Mayweather style, shoulder tuck, roll, stuff like that. Defensive, has a little more power. But I mean, that'd be an interesting fight. I don't know how the weight would work on that one, but I'd be interesting to watch that. I would love to watch Nate Diaz get in the ring, boxing, whoever really. But I think him and Jake Paul makes the most sense as far as that. But like my question is to you guys, who do you think Jake Paul would actually take an MMA fight with Nate Diaz? Nate Diaz, like, I mean, I feel like it hits the ground, he taps him, you know what I mean? Like any way he wants almost, you know what I mean? Like look how fast he tapped Tony Ferguson. I mean, it might have been a situation where Ferguson was out of breath, whatever, I don't know, because he exerted a lot of energy in that fight and took a lot of damage. But either way, he tapped a black belt, a 10th planet black belt, like pretty fast. Same thing with Connor. He tapped him, like he ran through him like butter. So, I mean, I don't know. It's going to be a tough fight. Jake's a lot, I feel they're a little comparable in size. I'm sure Nate walks around 200 or 190, 200 pounds. Jake probably around 210 or something like that. So, I mean, it kind of makes sense. But, man, what do you guys think? Do you think Jake Paul, I mean, obviously he's just attacking the game from all angles. He's doing MMA, he's doing boxing, he's doing a lot of stuff, promoting. So, I mean, I think it could open a lot of doors for a lot of guys who aren't happy with the UFC making a lot of money. Maybe they could have some showcase type fights. Like maybe they won't be championship material in the UFC, but at least they could have some like big payday fights in another organization or another opportunity. Pretty excited about it. I mean, I just want them to announce Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz. I mean, Nate Diaz either in the MMA world or in boxing, but I think boxing, like I said, makes more sense I would like to see that. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. I think it's gonna be some interesting situations coming forward, these next couple months as these fights happen and we see what's next for Nate Diaz. Like he has Adrian Broner calling him out, who's a boxer who, like I said, he's mouthpiece, not the biggest name, but he's had some money and success in boxing. So interesting, and I'm sure he's not going to be the last. He's the first guy to come call him out, world champion type material. So we'll see what happens with this, and I'm excited about it. Let's see how you guys go. What you guys think?